The sun rises again in the exiled lands. A toxic alpha clan controls an official server. Controlling many meta locations, Jim Bob fights against the tyranny of the alpha clan. Jim Bob calls upon an old friend to do God's work. A sign of the conqueror appears. Hey everyone, Jim Bob back with you once again, bringing you some new content from official server 1539, where I decided to set up a playthrough as a solo player. You may recognize this server from previous videos, as I have played here many times. Shortly after playing here for a week, I discovered that the Alpha Clan had wiped out an old friend of mine named Hegs of the clan Northmen, and they were bragging about how toxic he was. And from knowing Hegs, I knew this was a blasphemy, so I decided it might be fun to mess around with these guys for a few weeks. The clan was called the Red Hand, and they had several meta locations around the map, including Keyhole, South Aqueduct, and a few others. They also had outposts near every obelisk, and they were very well established. From what I could tell, they had 4 main players, with a few other players logging in here or there. They also had an elaborate network of transitory stones, which, after blowing into one of them, allowed me to map out all of their locations on the map. This playthrough chronicles the journey of Jim Bob as he tries to solo this Alpha Clan. I'll show you the ups and downs when trying to fight a bigger clan and you're outnumbered. I will share some tips and strategies on how you can kind of play along with the big guys and be an effective fighting force by yourself. Hope you enjoy the video. I haven't made a whole lot of content lately, but a lot of you stuck by me and are checking out the vids. I appreciate you all, and I hope you enjoyed this video. My first tip for soloing alpha clans is to participate in guerrilla warfare. And what I mean by that is to attack structures and vaults away from their main base. The reason why that is a good play is because they are very rarely defended. Sometimes they contain some great loot, and it starts to bleed the enemy of resources while not expending a ton of your own, not putting any valuable weapons or kits in danger. I don't have the fighting ability that others have, so when I'm fighting against a larger force, I have to kind of hit and run. You know, a guy like Razzle Dazzle from Clan Notorious, who started his own YouTube channel, go check it out, and it's growing very quickly. He has superior fighting ability. He can take on larger clans by himself and actually fight them, whereas I just can't do that. So I have to attack structures, participate in guerrilla warfare. My second tip for taking on an alpha clan is to destroy their weaker allies, and in this situation, this clan publicly attacked me as a player and as a human, and indicated that they were friends with the alpha clan. So although they were kind of noobish, I knew that they were holding on to a bunch of loot, and they had their benches going full rip. So while they were online, I popped over and popped a wall, jumped in, and stole all their loot. It was a very easy come up, and it also sent a message to the alphas that not only have they dragged themselves into a conflict they're not going to win, all of their friends are also going to lose. This alpha clan left thralls out in the open on guard. They had archers set up around the building, so I kind of just went over and picked them off one by one, collected their kits and weapons. They were putting legendary weapons, bows, good kits on these thralls. So as a solo who doesn't have much, this was an easy way to get some loot. I like throwing bombs down near their base, but not actually at their base, like if they have any outside structures. So at Keyhole, they had this vault sitting outside by the water, and I thought, you know, I'd place a few bombs down here, make some noise. This has an effect in two ways. One, it makes the enemy paranoid that you're getting closer to their home, and also it just kind of weighs on them mentally. It ties them to their base. They feel like they can't ever leave because I could strike at any time. And so I did this. I'd log in, I'd grab a handful of bombs, I'd run over there, I'd drop them, make a big boom, and then I'd kind of take off and leave them to wonder, like, where did he go? And this mental effect kind of drains an alpha clan's will to fight, because you're not giving them that one-on-one combat that they are hoping for, that decisive battle, that big win. Taking out their secondary bases ends up being a big play too. So these guys had bases all over the place. I think individual players had their own bases with benches and thralls and such. So when I located this one in the volcano, it just made sense for me to rip it apart and take everything out of there. There was some good loot, some average loot, but it was loot that no longer belonged to them. And for me, that was another win. Tip number 6 is kind of a mentality that you have to play with, I think, and it's to have zero fear. Give absolutely no fucks when playing as a guerrilla warrior. And so that's kind of something I've embraced recently, going out on my own as a solo player. And at this point, I was starting to really wear these guys down, although I wasn't getting anywhere close to their loot, their main loot in the Keyhole. I was starting to strike at the heart of Keyhole, putting down massive payloads of bombs while they were online, and detonating, creating a vast amount of damage that you know, would come in handy a little bit later. But this mentality of giving zero fucks, like even if it was to kill me here, and Frank, their main player that was defending was Frank. He's a good dude, and Fronan was fine too. But he kept me at bay, and I got to give him credit. Now here they didn't realize I could get on top of the structure with my trusty double jump, but throwing down 50 bombs at a time is no big deal for me. You have to remember I'm a farmer first, so crafting lots of bombs comes very easily to me as long as I have a little bit of time to play. And so coming here with a kit and 100 bombs to place while they're online, I know I'm not getting in at this point, but like I said, I just gave zero fucks, and I just wanted to fuck with these guys and let them know that I could strike at any point, at any time, and not care if I lost stuff. It's all in the mentality of it. That was about a 75 bomb explosion right there. Super satisfying to watch. I knew Frank would be coming at some point, so I just tried to maximize the amount of damage that I was going to do before he caught up with me. My exit strategy was to jump over the wall and kind of take off, and I probably should have done that to save the bombs, but I really wanted to try to do as much damage as I could, and Big Frankie caught up with me here. So Frank was a good dude, good fighter, best player on their team by far, and so it was a good reminder that you got to take your wins and your losses and just move on, right? So he got a few bombs there. It's okay. So after messing around with the red hand for about a week and a half, all of a sudden the hacker that hates me a lot, Exiles, showed up and completely wiped my base once again. And even more annoyingly so, knowledge wiped me, and you can see him bragging about it in global right there. So this kind of set me back quite a bit. Being knowledge wiped is the most annoying part. You essentially have to recreate character if you want to use sorcery again. You can't relearn sorcery. So at this point, I debated maybe shutting it down and just leaving the server completely. But then Magic X Square had to go on Discord and brag about the wipe. The idiot posted a screenshot from his YouTube channel where Shooter Rings, who was one of the Red Hand members, let Magic X Square know that I had moved to 1539, and then within hours, Magic had let Exile know, and Exile came and completely wiped my base. So with all of these people working together, I took it a bit personally and I decided to stay on the server on an alt account, and my main mission was to wipe the Alpha Clan, and that's what I went about doing. Thank you Magic X Square for the bulletin board material and showing that you are in league with the biggest hacker in the game. Knowing that Exile would likely come back to check to see if I was playing, I knew I had to change accounts, and so that's what I did. I activated my Kevin from Parts account and dove in. Now luckily for me, Exile missed one of my hidden stashes, which allowed me to get Kevin from Parts some gear and some weapons so that I could level a little bit quicker. I don't have the kitten statue DLC thing on this account, and I wasn't planning on buying it, so I was going to have to level the old-fashioned way by farming Lotus and Black Lotus and killing monkeys. So I needed a weapon and a kit, and so I set about getting my revenge on the Alpha Clan in this manner. Once hitting 60 and farming up a few mats for bombs, I also farmed up a god. I found the priest at Sinners and quickly farmed 615 zeal and started my godcraft exactly 1 hour before the start of raid time, hoping to catch the enemy unprepared. On my way to God the base for Aunt Linda, I came across a player at the North Jungle Obby. I had about 150 bombs on me, a bunch of arrows, so I had to be very sneaky. I'm speeding the next few parts up for you. They're not super exciting. The enemy was offline at this point. I was just kind of running to get into place to use my God token. Now, I did want to show this part though, because I think it's always important for the enemy to see how I got in. I used a combination of jumping on their anti-climb, and then at one point I used the ice bridge, which was very effective of getting over several rows of anti-climb. Ten-minute god drops are not super exciting for YouTube content, so I've sped it up 500% just to kind of go through and show you how I use Mitra here. I don't just pick one spot and hammer it, I kind of move him around multiple places. You'll see health bars pop up from time to time. That's me killing his Thrall army. The reason why I take those steps back are to ensure that I'm hitting as many Thralls as I possibly can. The god is still completely devastating to Thrall hit points, and so by moving it around like this, I ensure that I kill the majority of the Thralls. Now, he doesn't do a great job of killing golems, but anything humanoid in there, it will be pretty much dead, along with beds and bed mats and any player unconscious bodies. I could tell I wasn't alone at this point because I had heard some explosions on the outside, and I figured that somebody probably saw the god token being used on the map. Server does lag considerably when a god is being dropped, and that's an indication for people to check the map to see if something's going on. The Mitra God did a ton of work for me, including killing the Thrall army that was inside, which was amazing. Unfortunately, I got right to the entrance, but this one last door was not popped, so I must have been missing it with the Mitra foot. So I had a little bit of work to do yet, but I knew I was very, very close going through that tunnel and into the main base. You could see their production facility outside the main with their furnaces, and they definitely had a lot of mats cooking. So I was pretty stoked at this point to get in. Now he did have some golems kicking around with the acid. Kept hearing noises outside the base, and I knew that people were likely going to come in and join the party here. I didn't know if they were going to be friendly. I assumed that they probably were not going to be friendly, but I really had nowhere to go. They were on the outside, I was on the inside, so I was just going to kind of keep doing what I was doing and hope to God that these guys were peaceful. Oh, damn. Luckily for me, I ended up having some kind of connection with Lucifer and King through Terminator, an old friend of mine, and they allowed for me to come back and continue the raid with them. Great dudes. They ended up killing all the golems for me inside, and then we just kind of went to work destroying the rest of the base. Once they had discovered that it was Exile who had gotten me in league with Magic X Square and these alphas, they were more than happy to give me a hand. It's nice to know that there's still some good guys out there that are willing to fight on the good team against these evil perpetrators. So once I rekitted and regeared, we got back to work. So what turned out to be a playthrough against some alphas and just kind of messing with them turned out to be a whole lot more than that. Once Magic X Square sent his Hacker Boy Exile in to wipe me, it became kind of personal. He was tipped off by this alpha clan, and so I, with the help of a couple friends, destroyed the alpha clan with the drop of a miniature god. I put my sign out front just in the event that they weren't sure who accomplished the task. Just remember, folks, when you team with hackers like Exile, guys like Jim Bob will come for you. And he can do whatever he wants, really, but it doesn't stop me. I just keep coming. And I always get my revenge. Cheers, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the vid. Leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe. Getting close to 1,000. You guys are awesome. Cheers, everybody.